Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Wrestling Reviews with Campo.Reviews, who reviews TV shows, movies, and wrestling. Putty didn't watch NXT, so he's not here this week. We can't find him. We've been looking for him for the last few hours, but we don't know where he is.
He moved out.
Putty, if you're still alive, give us a sign. With that out of the way, guys, we are reviewing our second NXT offering of the year. This time it was a full-on actual premium live event, not the in-house Tuesday night special kind of thing.
Well, they've all been in-house.
Yeah, this one was the first one that was like outside. Like this was in North Carolina, and right off the bat, like before the show even started, it made a difference with the crowd.
Yeah.
Like made a huge difference.
I don't know. Okay, so I have trouble with WWE crowds. It's a different kind of noise. It's like ambient noise.
Background noise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just find that it's different than other wrestling companies.
Yeah. But you do notice the difference than the planted crowd that's at the NXT shows than the actual live event crowd.
Yes.
So I right off the bat, I already enjoyed that. Yeah. What did you think of the crowd? Like,
it was fine. It was better.
Yeah.
Than the trailer park trash that we're used to.
This had more of that polished WWE feel to it.
But I'll say this: it did feel strange.
Well, because you're so used to
I'm so used to it, and in fairness, and this is not to take away from any of these talents, none of them are big names. Even Braun Breaker is not a big name. So it's like you're sold out a massive arena and you put on this whole presentation. Like it just didn't feel like a big event.
Yeah.
Even though it was.
Whereas I did feel it felt special almost. You know what I mean?
I agree with that.
Yeah.
But I just think you're selling me something big and it kind of isn't.
Like a polishing a turd kind of thing?
Yeah, it would be like if Impact just all of a sudden one day was like, oh, we're just going to do a big arena.
Yeah. It's not the same. Yeah, I get that. But crowd aside, we'll go into our first match. Our opening match was Wes Lee against Dijak for the NXT North American Championship. That's one thing I noticed about this show when I messaged you about it. All the belts were on the line. And that made a difference in the show too.
They should be.
Yeah. But Wes Lee and Dijak, what'd you think of the match?
It was pretty good.
It was. Yeah, it was a great opener, I thought.
Yeah, Dijak really showed off what he has.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest with you, I would have liked it if he won.
I wouldn't have been opposed to it either. Yeah.
There was a lot of counters in the next match too.
But even Wes Lee was going strength for strength with Dijak too, where you were expecting more of a strength versus speed kind of thing.
Yeah,
and like Wes Lee was throwing some suplexes, some like
Dijak absolutely manhandled him.
Yeah, it was the Moxley booking, I guess, is what you'd like to call it.
Yeah, but I kind of knew that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, but there was that one move though that Wes Lee did, like that corkscrew off the top, and like they came so close to counting 3, and that's when they had the crowd.
Well, Dijak's figure was broken. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah.
They zoomed in on it real nice.
Yeah. But yeah, no, other than that, like, I mean, it was a great opener. It got the crowd hyped. What you want? Wesley, like you said, Wes Lee retains. I wouldn't have mind if Dijak won and they do like a little back and forth with it.
Yeah, okay. So especially compared to the other NXT events, this was like a wicked start. And this was legitimately a good match. It wasn't like,
yeah, absolutely.
But this is where I started noticing a trend. Well, I didn't notice it yet. All of these matches are really long.
Yeah, I mean, they were all within the 15 to 20 minute mark. Yeah.
For WWE, that's not like a normal.
But I mean, total, once again, I did the math. Total, we had an hour and 20 minutes worth of matches on a 3.5 hour show.
Yeah. Just fast forwarding the promos got me so fast
frustrated.
Yeah, I got through it really fast.
Yeah. So Wes Lee retains, like you said. I wouldn't have mind Dijak winning, then have the babyface chase for the belt again, kind of culminating at Stand and Deliver in April kind of thing. But whatever, maybe on the next match, because they're probably going to do a rematch with these guys, because at the end of the match, Tony D'Angelo and Two Stacks or whatever his name is.
Yeah, Joey and Joey.
Yeah. Because I got an angel watching me. For non-Canadians, you won't get that. But yeah, so there's probably going to be a rematch, maybe a 3-way match for the belt. So this way, Wes Lee doesn't have to lose for Dijak to get the belt.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
Yeah. So I think that's what's going to be next. So like I said, Wes Lee retains. Decent opener. I enjoyed it. Got me hyped for the show. Fast forward 20 minutes to the next match, and we had the Katana Chance and Caden Carter. I can never remember their names because that's how relevant they are, against Fallon Henley and Kiana James, with Briggs and Jensen on the ring. They were making a big deal about Carter and Chance being the longest reigning women's tag team champion ever in WWE, including main roster, but it's an irrelevant reign because there were no good defenses. There's no teams for them to wrestle.
How long were they champions for?
186 days.
That's it?
Yeah, since August, basically.
This match sucked.
Yeah, this was the worst match on the card for me.
Like, legitimately, like, I don't want to be harsh, but I have no other words to describe this match. It was legitimately a terrible match.
The only one that showed any semblance of talent is Fallon Henley.
And it's like, there still wasn't much.
Yeah.
The story was stupid. Their women's tag division is garbage.
Yeah, it is. There's nobody in there. Like, who's it?
They didn't Toxic Attraction recently lose the tag belts, or was that was all the way back in August?
That was back in August. They lost it to them.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And then the rematch they lost as well.
That's crazy.
But I think that was at the Worlds Collide.
Was it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it probably was.
Yeah. But this, like I said, worst match on the card. Like I said, only Fallon Henley. That's the only girl she was the one. She's not the one that looks like a bad porno star. It's the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's the only one that shows, like, Caden Carter. She's absolute garbage. She is not talented at all. Katana Chance, she's the one that was American Ninja Warrior. She won American Ninja Warrior at one time, and she's athletic, but her in-ring skills they need to be worked on.
NXT is starting to feel like OVW or something.
Yeah.
It, like, back in the days, it thrived because all the people you had there were already established wrestlers
from the indies.
They were like genuine, real talents, where WWE's new thing for NXT is just get whoever we think might be good and try.
Yeah. I think they took the belts off of them too, because I think they're going to be released.
Yeah.
I think so. I wouldn't be surprised within the next few days we hear one, if not both of them, at least Caden Carter is going to be released.
Okay.
As they rebrand. That's me personally. Kind of like what they did with Mandy. Mandy is a different reason why they released her, but that's the reason why they took the belt off of her, was they wanted to release her. And I think that's the same.
Well, Matt, they were going to take the belt off Mandy anyways.
Yeah. Just happened a little earlier. But we go from a really bad match to a good match. Anytime Melo is in the ring, it's money.
I don't watch a lot of WWE. Obviously, you know that. Yeah. So I really dislike the character that Carmelo Hayes has, and his goofy partner that stands outside,
Trick Williams. Yeah, I'm not a fan of those stupid skits that they do or anything. Let the boy wrestle. Let him show off. He's
great in the ring. This match was good, but dude, his partner that stood outside, this match was really long. It felt like, and that guy didn't know what to do. He was there was points, I don't know if you saw, he was just standing outside.
Yeah, this was the longest match on the card, almost 25 minutes.
Yeah, his valet or whatever had nothing to do.
Yeah.
He just stood there.
But I mean, Carmelo, like, and this is probably the best showing of Apollo Crews in NXT since he came back.
Yeah.
And they put on a fantastic match. Carmelo gets the first fall with a submission, which was really surprising. I said this before we even found out what happens at the end of the main event, but I said Carmelo Hayes is ready to move on to the main event picture.
That's what this was.
This is to show that he's able to main event. And I think he's ready. I think like they made him sound like he's this like amazing, like, you know, and longest North American champion, like, you know, 2-time North American, like they really built up his accolades to make it seem like he's this really amazing, like they even said they took the MJF thing and said he's a generational talent, and he's definitely more talented than MJF.
He's really good.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed this. Well, first of all, Booker T was way better today.
Yes,
than he
until the women's match.
Yes, I agree. I don't know if you noticed this, but he kept talking about this match as if it was for the North American title.
Yeah.
I genuinely think he was confused what was happening.
Yeah, this was the only non-title match.
He kept talking about it, and I was like, that has nothing to do with this.
No, but like, especially if you want to move Melo up the card, this is not that wasn't the right type of commentary he had to. But commentary aside, Carmelo Hayes, this is the first time I've seen a 2 out of 3 falls match. Don't go for it was just 2-0. That's it. He just obliterated Crews. I
was actually shocked.
I thought Crews would at least, you know, make it 1-1 and really fight for that last pin, but no, 2-0.
This match was similar to the Dijak match because Crews just dominated him.
Yeah.
But it was like weird turn of events that gave Melo like a little comeback.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with the first fall, Booker T said it. He goes, "You think Crews didn't want to strain himself too much and just tapped out immediately? Let me take that first loss and try to come back to wins." But no, he within 10 minutes, not even 10 minutes, we got the second fall. So
yeah, long ass match.
It was, but it was good. It was a good after the cluster that was the women's tag match. I needed a palate cleanser like this. Carmelo goes over. Like I said, Carmelo's ready to move on. And if you really want to turn Carmelo into this awful heel and create a new baby face, have him turn on his manager.
Yeah.
And create a new rivalry right there.
I like it.
Right. So if you really want to push Carmelo as a heel, because Carmelo works really great as a heel.
He's already a heel, isn't he?
Yeah, but I mean, keep him as that heel. You know what I mean? I don't want to turn Carmelo babyface. He's not ready for that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. On to the next match, our Fatal 4-Way Championship match for our tag team match for the NXT Tag Team Championships. You have the champions New Day against Pretty Deadly, Chase U, and Gallus. I can't stand 2 of the 4 teams already in this match.
I can't stand any of them after watching it. It wasn't a bad match. I wouldn't score this match poorly, but it also wasn't good.
Yeah, it was average.
It went really long. And
this was another one, 17 minutes.
This is specifically where NXT, you could see the difference. The way that they act and their mannerisms and the things that they yell out during the matches is not stuff that happens in the WWE.
No,
like, it's purely like an indie type of situation. Like they were playing like pranks on each other during the match. It was just so stupid. It wasn't even funny.
And the thing is, Pretty Deadly are talented. They're a talented group. So I don't know why Gallus goes over in this match. Let's just give you that. I really enjoyed Andre Chase. Andre Chase really put on a good show. Like, for someone who has this goofy character, this guy can wrestle.
Yeah.
And I don't think they showcased him enough in this match, personally.
I hate the gimmick.
Yeah, the gimmick is dumb, but he's talented. He could be like another like Drew Gulak type of thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
he had a few good spots.
Like, especially in Charlotte, when he throws on the figure 4, the crowd erupted for that. Because, you know, Ric Flair country.
Yeah, of course.
But, but I mean, Gallus goes over, which I'm shocked at. Shocked, but not
I
shocked.
didn't expect them to take the titles off New Day.
You thought New Day was going to have a long run with this, eh?
I did, because I thought they wanted to make them a permanent thing on NXT, but clearly that's not what's happening.
No, obviously not, because they gave the belts to Gallus, and I think Gallus and Pretty Deadly are going to have a good long feud with this. Because this is a great way to turn Pretty Deadly babyface.
Can you, though?
Yeah, I think you can. Get the crowd behind them. They need babyface tag teams, and Gallus is clearly a heel team. Like, I'm more interested in a heel face dynamic or a babyface dynamic than a heel dynamic in a match.
I don't care really about that kind of stuff. You know this.
Yeah.
But
that's
yeah,
me
okay.
personally.
That's fair, though. That's fair.
Because really, who else do you have right now in the tag division?
Nobody.
Yeah. So I think this is to establish those two as like a decent tag and have a good feud for this. Maybe have a Gallus versus Pretty Deadly match at the next event.
That's what's going to happen for sure.
Yeah. Because I don't think they wanted to keep Kofi and Xavier in NXT because I think they want them there at Mania. I think they're going to be part of some sort of tag team legend spot or something.
Do you think Big E comes back at WrestleMania? Like, not to wrestle.
Oh yeah, I think he'll make an appearance to do the full New Day reunion. I could see that happening because he's already been seen with them at events. So I could see Big E returning. I could see them doing something with New Day, but Pretty Deadly is definitely the team that they're really going to be pushing as your babyface. I think as a babyface tag team in the future.
Fair enough.
Because I wouldn't move them to the main roster just yet because they're going to be buried up there. Like especially with the Usos running rampant with the tag titles. And if you get a Sammy Kevin Owens tag run, you can't really bring anybody else at the moment.
Yeah. Especially if you keep Drew and
Sheamus together. Yeah. Have Kevin and Sammy on one show, Drew and Sheamus as champs on the other, and that's it.
Like, the Brawling Brutes are already irrelevant at this point.
Yeah. Maybe maybe they do like hey, you joined up with Drew. What about us? What happened to us? And then they do a feud against the Brawling Brutes against Sheamus and Drew.
I think it's too soon.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm talking about down the road. I'm future booking here. Future booking, Johnny. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, this wasn't a bad match either. It was a decent match. Like, I mean, the only thing, and then after the match, we get this like who attacked Nikita Lyons in the parking lot CSI thing. Oh,
bro, it was so bad. It was so bad. It didn't even make sense. Everyone's walking around in a parking lot and nobody noticed a girl lying on the floor screaming.
Yeah. So basically, other than that, I watched the show with no promos in between. So this way it didn't affect my score at the end. So let's just put it that way. So up next, we get our women's championship match. It's Roxana Perez versus Toxic Attraction, Gigi Dolan, JC Jane, but it's not a 2-on-1. It's a 3-way match.
Well, it was a 2-on-1 for a while.
They were teasing the will they, won't they? Like,
it was fine.
It was a good match. I didn't mind it. This is probably Perez's best match since.
Yes.
This was Booker T at his pervious, though. That's my baby girl. That's this. Like, no, Booker, don't say shit like that, man. Don't. Like, just don't.
That's your boy.
Yeah. But, I mean, this was a half decent match. Do you think maybe they're going to be pushing Gigi as a babyface?
No.
You think they're just going to keep them, like, they lost, keep them as Toxic Attraction, face off against the other women tag match?
I think
keep them as a tag team, because they have no tag team right now. Because right now you got a pretty like irrelevant women's division with Valkyria. You have Alba Fire. You have the other Scottish girl there. Like, it's a pretty. You have Zoe Stark, which definitely needs a run. I'd like to see a Zoe Stark versus Perez feud next.
I think the only way to balance that division is the women's division singles is to keep Toxic Attraction as a tag team, because the tag division's so weak.
Yeah.
They can still be relevant.
They can carry it. Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Like, we don't need people like Zoe Stark to continue to get pushed aside
because you want to
you're
push
gonna,
Gigi and
yeah,
JC.
exactly.
Yeah. I could see Zoe Stark as the next feud for Perez.
I'll take
We'll
it.
see. Yeah, I'd rather take that. Zoe Stark is, after her performance in the Rumble a couple weeks ago, I think Zoe's ready for that.
Makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, and like I said, and then one spot at the end of the match, when they pulled out the table and they didn't use it, first thing went through my head, I go, you were going to be pissed if they pull out the table and they don't use the table.
I didn't like it anyways.
No, it was a bad spot, but I mean,
it was a really light kick, and she had to like throw herself off the
table. Yeah. Because Perez is so small. It's that bliss factor, like the Alexa Bliss factor, that you don't believe it.
It's not, honestly, it's not as bad as Alexa Bliss.
Okay, I'll give you that. But Perez retains. Like I said, Gigi and JC, Toxic Attraction, need to stay as a tag team, move them back to the tag division, and start a feud with Zoe Stark.
Yeah.
And then eventually it'll culminate back with the Cora Jade feud.
Fair enough.
Long-term booking, guys. Long-term booking. Up next, we had our main event. It's a cage match. The only way to win is via pinfall or submission. There is no cage escape in this match. I like the fact that they use the actual cage and not like the fake cage that they use sometimes.
They use a fake cage?
Sometimes they do, yeah. Remember, well, not like a fake cage, but like one that breaks up. This was an actual full cage where sometimes they just have the cage that's held together by the zip ties.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, this was an actual, like a 4x4 cage. It wasn't that's what I meant to say, not a fake cage, but like where it wasn't held together. I was
like thinking in my head, I'm like, oh, what are you talking about?
It's the one that's held together with zip ties.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah. This is to determine the match because a few weeks ago at New Year's Evil, Braun Breaker won via count out because that really stupid breaking of the ropes, and Grayson Waller got counted out. So he said, if I'm in a ring, I could beat you. So they said, okay, cage match, no escape. Only way to win is by pinfall or submission. And let's just say this match was a lot better than their last match.
Yes.
Grayson Waller showed me a lot more in this match.
Okay, it was a good match, but it felt like it was really dragging. Like,
it went a little too long.
Neither one of them has a skill set enough to handle a long match like this.
Yeah. But like I said, Grayson Waller, like I said, he showed me some improvement. He finally, this character now is that cocky heel. It's starting to take shape. I'm starting to understand the character a little bit more, like the arrogance behind him, the cockiness behind him. I think it works for him, and it worked really well against Braun Breaker, who's just a powerhouse and is just like, I'm going to destroy you. And
the match had a good balance. But I knew that he was not going to lose.
Well, obviously not. He's not going to lose at this match because, so with that, like I said, Braun Breaker goes over. He wins. Half decent match. Some good fun spots in the match, like some powerhouse spots, some athletic spots. Braun Breaker goes over. Like at the end of the match, he like utterly destroys him with that spear.
Yeah.
Like he snapped him in half. Grayson Waller, I think, is going to go back down the card. Maybe he's the next, maybe he gets thrown into the NXT North American Championship mix.
Possible.
Because they're already setting up the next opponent for Braun Breaker. And I think this is where Braun's going to lose the belt. It's Carmelo Hayes.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the match, Carmelo Hayes comes out, they do that little stare down and they go off the air. But it's a good little setup. It's a good little tease for what's coming next. They know they got to make NXT stand and deliver. The Mania show, like, got to stand out because especially it's going to be the day after Ring of Honor.
Is it the same weekend as Mania?
It's the same day.
The fuck?
Yeah. So NXT is going to be in the afternoon and Mania is at night on April 1st.
So yeah, like what they've been doing. That makes sense.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, because they won't do it on the night before because Ring of Honor announced their show and they're not going to compete with Ring of Honor.
Yeah, there's no point.
No, but like I said, it was a decent match. Yeah, I mean, sets up. I think Braun Breaker is going to lose to Melo. Melo's going to be the new champ, and I think Braun is going to be moved to the main roster the day after Mania. Maybe go after Austin Theory.
Yeah, I honestly I don't have any fantasy booking for WWE when it comes to NXT.
I'm just thinking where they could fit because there's so many pieces that they don't have a spot for them, but at least I'm trying to think of at least something to keep me invested in the product. You know what I mean?
I would take what you're saying.
Yeah. So with that, what would you score this show? This was, I messaged you earlier. This was a decent show, and it was the best NXT show since Worlds Collide.
Like, I'm really conflicted on the score. I'll probably give it a 7.
That's exactly what I gave it. A 7. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing spectacular, nothing bad other than that women's match. But
yeah, it was just good. 7 is good. It was a good pay-per-view. It is what it is.
Yeah. So it was no thing, but it was a decent show. I enjoyed it. I gave it a 7 as well. My worst match of the night was that women's tag. And I'm conflicted. My match of the night is either the Melo match or the Wes Lee match. I think it's the
Wes Lee match for me.
You think that one was a little bit better?
I think it was way more. It was a lot tighter.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, clearly, yeah, because there are 2 veterans in the ring too. Melo's still fairly new.
That match suffers from WWE, which is like this weird thing that when nobody's wrestling, nothing's happening.
Yeah. And to be honest, I may have even given it a 7-1, 7-2 if it wasn't for all those pointless promos in between.
I won't let that hurt my score, but those suck.
Yeah, they got to stop that. And I know why they do it. Yeah. But like I said, decent show, well worth your watch. Like, I mean, if you have some time to kill, watch it, especially if you watch it on a repeat and you can fast forward all the boring stuff. It's a good solid hour and a half of watching. It's not.
It was pretty good. It was pretty fast.
Yeah. So with that, I will share with you our scores right here. So since we got it here right now, we're going to pop in a 7 for me and a 7 for you. So with that, we have now our scores. And if you see here, we also now have, we watched recently the Noah show and a couple of the New Beginning shows, or at least one of the New Beginning shows. So I watched I was able to finish this week, the Great Muta Final Bye-Bye. Like you said, it was a good, little bonus review here. It was a good, decent watch. Go out of your way to watch that main event. It was a good main event. And the New Beginnings in Nagoya was okay. Not a great event, but it was fine for what it is.
It wasn't like a bad event. It was just boring.
Yeah. It was a lot of pointless matches. It felt like a regular house show that they just televised.
But listen, in the Noah event, Hakushi, that's his name, right?
Yeah, Hakushi. He
took the fucking gnarliest spot I've seen in so long. I couldn't believe it. Dude's like 50 something.
Yeah. I remember when he fought Bret
from the ring over the barricade and tried to go through the table, but he couldn't break the table.
Yeah. Because those tables are too strong. But that main event was good. I even enjoyed, I think it was the second match on the card. It was the women's tag team match, the first ever women's match in Noah.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
That was a good match too. So it's like, I'm really enjoying where Noah's going, and I'm excited to see what Noah has to offer this year. And like I said, New Beginnings. And then the night of this week, I'm probably going to catch up on the 2 Sapporo shows.
Yeah,
I think we got on Sunday night was Naito versus Umino finally.
It's about time.
So we're going to get that, and then on the 11th we're getting New Beginning in Osaka, which is the loser leaves Japan match.
Yeah.
So we'll see where that goes, and then we got Battle in the Valley and Elimination Chamber. So we got a lot more wrestling reviews coming up for you guys. Next week, I think, is where Campo and I are going to have our New Beginnings, like just the review overall of the show. We're not going to do like a match by match review, but we're just going to give our overall thoughts on the New Beginnings series. So tune in next week for that. No bonus video this week, just the one video for you, but it's a good one. We always do. So with that out of the way, thanks again for joining us, and we'll see y'all next time.